once.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for accepting, Maharaj. Once again, I'll just start the recording.
Om Jnanatamarandasya
Recording in progress.
Jnanatana Shalakaya Chaksurmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanhebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everyone. I've been asked to take this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam for you. I understand you're on Canto 7, and we're going to be looking at the last two chapters of the 7th Canto, namely chapters 14 and 15. Right?
Maharaj, just a minute of your time. On behalf of Mayapur Institute and all the students who are assembled here, we thank you a lot, Maharaj, for giving your mercy, blessings by your association and accepting to teach these units. We thank you from the core of our hearts. And over to you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So this chapter is entitled Ideal Family Life. That's certainly a very important topic for us in the Krishna consciousness movement. The vast majority of our devotees are in family life. And we're preaching, in the course of our preaching work, we have to deal with people in family life. It's a major issue, helping devotees in family life. So here, in this chapter, Narada Muni is answering the inquiries of Maharaj Yudhisthira. Of course, we would wonder, well, Narada Muni, he's a brahmachari, right? He's a Nastika brahmachari. What did he know about brahmachari life? But remember also, Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami, he's another Naistika brahmachari. But he spoke on this topic. And Maharaj Yudhisthira inquired about it from Narada Muni. So it's important for us to understand how to behave in family life and what are the duties in family life. So the chapter begins with Maharaj Yudhisthira's inquiry. He wants to know he wants Narada Muni to explain how those of us who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life, how we can also easily attain liberation through the instructions of the Vedas. So, very interesting question, right? Family life. Srila Prabhupada explains the connection between this chapter and the previous chapters. Previous chapters, Narada Muni had explained about brahmacharya life, and the vanaprastha life, and the sannyasi life. So he'd explained about those three ashrams, and now he wants to explain about the grihastha life. So Prabhupada explains how the brahmachari, the vanaprastha and the sannyasi, that they're distinct from the grihastha life. Because in the grihastha life, there is opportunity to engage in connection with the opposite sex. But in the other ashrams, that opportunity is not there. So Prabhupada said Narada Muni did like that because he wanted to stress that connection with the opposite sex is not necessary. But people who are very attached to that, then it's allowed, and that's what Grihastha life is for. Grihastha life is an opportunity for people to have the association and to engage in having their own family. And it's supported by Shastra and supported by spiritual teacher also. So Maharaj Yudhisthira is taking the position of somebody who is ignorant about the goals of life. Now usually people who remain in householder life, who are very attached to family life, they're ignorant about the goal of life. Maharaj Yudhisthira is not ignorant, but he's presenting himself. He's taking that position so that Narada Muni can give these teachings. So we have to understand the situation that if it's possible to avoid entering into the householder life, then that's very good. But for most people, it's very difficult, and it's a necessity. For most people, they have to get married, enter into householder life. And it's good for them to take responsibility. That's one of the features of householder life, that it's a responsibility. So if people don't enter into family life, then there has to be a good reason for it. And the real purpose of not entering into family life is that they're fixed, they're determined to become self-realized. They want to, in other words, they want to get out of the material cycle of birth and death. That is very important. That is the higher purpose of life. But for people who are not able to understand the higher purpose of life, and who are very attached to sense gratification, then family life is there. And in family life, then there's the opportunity to have children, to raise children. And of course that should be done according to religious principles in Krishna consciousness. Alright, so if any of you have any questions on this while I'm talking, then please don't hesitate to interrupt me. We'll be happy to hear from you. I don't know how many people do we have in this class?
We have 16, Maharaj.
16, okay.
Sorry, Maharaj, 18, I'm sorry.
18.
For the count.
Okay. All right, so Maharaj Yudhisthira asked his question. Now Narada Muni is replying. And he's explaining the different duties of a householder, the different duties of a person in family life. We have to understand there's responsibilities there in having a family. It's not that we can just, do nothing. But in family life, there are duties. So Narada Muni begins, and the first thing he mentions is that one must act to earn their livelihood. You can stay at home, You can be a householder, but still you have to earn your livelihood. You have to be able to support the family. You're going to enter into family life, accept a wife, have children. You have to be able to support them. So everyone has to have some kind of job. You need some work to do to earn an income. And this is a problem, you know, different people like the kings, the rulers, the governments, they're always concerned to create employment for people. Because if there's no employment for people, then it's difficult. Not everyone has the intelligence of how to earn money. You know, most people are Sudras in the Kali Yuga. We have generally most of the population, the common people, are Sudras, and they have to be employed. They have to be told how to work, what to do to earn money. People who are a little more intelligent, they will figure out some way to make a living. They'll do some little business, maybe buying and selling, whatever. But common people, they need jobs, they need to be employed. So Narada Muni said the first thing, the first duty of a person in the family life, their first duty is to earn their livelihood. And then Narada Muni continues, he said, next thing he mentions, he said, that the results of the work is not for themselves, but they should offer the results to Krishna, to Vasudeva, Krishna. And so, of course, this is like the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is describing karma yoga. Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, karmani evadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. Lord Krishna told Arjuna, your qualification is to work, but you're not entitled to enjoy the results of the work. And then he goes on and said, never be attached to the results of the work, and never be attached to not doing your duty. In this way, Lord Krishna was telling Arjuna, you should work, but remember the results are not for you. So the same thing is being stated here by Narada Muni to Maharaj Yudhisthira. Everybody should work. This is important. People should earn their livelihood, but the results of their work should be given to Krishna. And the Narada Muni continues his first instruction. He said, how to satisfy Vasudeva or Krishna in this life? That has to be understood through the association of devotees. So you need to get the association of the devotees to know how to work for the pleasure of the Lord. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, the basic principle is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the important point in Varnashram, in everything which we do. It doesn't matter what particular ashram you're in. You may be brahmachari or vanaprastha or sannyasi, grihastha, whatever. But the basic principle is we have to satisfy the Supreme Lord. And how to do that? Well, by work, by our work. We work for His pleasure. And we offer the results of our work for His pleasure. So this is important. This is all part of the duty of somebody in family life, householder life. Prabhupada talks about the signs of Vasudev Arpana, or offering the results of our work to Vasudev, Krishna. So we have to do like that. We want to work, and we want to work as an offering, do the work as an offering for the pleasure of the Lord. So that's one duty of the person in family life. Then Prabhupada goes on to speak about another principle, another important thing for someone in family life. He said it's very important, everyone should hear the Bhagavatam. We should hear Bhagavat classes. We should hear the classes from the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the past, not long ago, it was customary, at least in the villages, that people would engage every day, every evening, before taking rest, they would hear the pastimes of the Lord, maybe from Srimad Bhagavatam or some other scripture. But by hearing about the Lord and His activities, then that night they would sleep and they would remember the Lord. Prabhupada told devotees we should read Krishna book before taking rest in the evening. You read Krishna book and then you go to sleep thinking about Krishna, remembering His pastimes. It goes in the consciousness. So it's important for us to be hearing regularly. Regularly doesn't mean once a week. It means every day. Actually, you want to hear at every moment that you can. Some people are very fortunate. They can be working all day and they can be hearing. Maybe they have some connection to a mobile network and they're able to hear recorded lectures. They're able to hear kirtan. That kind of devotee, he's always in Krishna consciousness because he's always hearing. So then it's natural for him to chant because he's been hearing so much. Alright, so this actually the first section of this chapter, the first 18 verses are all about the duties of someone in family life. We're going to hear the different, it's almost half the chapter, explaining the different duties which grihastas should do. So Maharaj Yudhisthira is a grihasta, and he wants to know, for the benefit of everyone, how they can avoid being ignorant about the goal of life. So Narada Muni is telling the secrets. He said, grihastas, they must associate with devotees, with saintly persons, again and again. They have to associate, and with great respect they have to hear from the scriptures about the Lord and His incarnations as they're described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this way we can gradually become detached from affection for his wife and children. Just like a man awakening from a dream. So Prabhupada explains that Krishna consciousness movement has been established around the world just to give people who are grihastas, to give them an opportunity to hear the message of scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Without the Krishna consciousness movement, there was no opportunity to hear these kind of things regularly. So without hearing from the scriptures, then people will be ignorant about the goal of life. They will think the goal of life is simply to make money. The goal of life is simply to live comfortably. The goal of life is simply to eat, sleep, mate and defend. They don't have any higher understanding about the goal of life. So in Kali Yuga, we know people are very irreligious. They don't like to join the kirtan. They like to go to club. They like to go to the bar. They like to drink alcohol. They like to watch movies which have nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. So people are very fallen. They have no taste for the higher purpose in life. They just simply think about the body and the senses. They have no higher goal in life. You ask them, are you thinking about the next life, about the future? Where are you going to go in the future? They never think about it. They just simply think only about today. Oh, I'm working, I have to get money, I have to have a job, make some money. They don't think about the future, they don't think about the next life. They're only thinking about today. Let me work today, I can fill the belly today. And they will work many hours, of course, every day. People are very unfortunate in the Kali Yuga. They spend a lot of time working, day and night. They work in the daytime, they have another job at night. And then on Sunday, they have another job. Right? You get people like that. Like here, I'm in Mayapur, and if you take the train to Calcutta in the morning, like sometimes the devotees, they have to go to Calcutta for some official work. So you can see on the train, there's so many people. They're going every day. Every morning they go on the train from Navadvip or from Krishnanagar, and they will take the train all the way to Calcutta. It will take more than 2 hours. But every day they will travel 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Every day for their work. Srila Prabhupada told these people, he met some of these people, he told them, when you're in the train, at least you should do kirtan. You should have kirtan every day. And there are some people, at least there used to be, they would travel in the train and every morning they would do kirtan. And if you were lucky, you could get in the compartment with them and they have a nice kirtan all the way to Calcutta every day. So that's a very good way to pass the time if they're having kirtan. But not everybody's so fortunate. Other people are just working, eating, sleeping, working, eating, sleeping. They have no goal of life, no higher purpose in life. So we're trying to save them from this kind of life. We want to wake them up, to get them to understand the real business in life. So Prabhupada said, one should work 8 hours at the most to earn his livelihood. Prabhupada doesn't approve of somebody working more than 8 hours a day. But he said they should also associate with devotees and hear about the incarnations of Krishna and his activities. And that way they'll be liberated and get free from Maya. So people just waste their time. They work very hard. And what do they do when they get money? Then they use it to drink alcohol, or they use it to go to cinema, or they use it to go to nightclub. That is not grihastha life. That is the demoniac life. So our Krishna consciousness movement is here to save people from that kind of demoniac life. We want to give people an opportunity to hear about Krishna and to awaken their Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, the valuable human life will be lost. We have to bring people out of their conditioned state of life, help them to understand the real purpose in life, which is to get free of birth and death. So if people will take up devotional service, then they can easily be liberated. But without devotional service, doesn't matter what they do. They may do karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, they may do meditation, but the real goal of life will not be achieved. They have to do bhakti yoga to get out of this material existence. Only bhakti yoga can solve the problem. So Sukadeva Goswami, or rather, not Sukadeva Goswami, Narada Muni, he's recommending, he said, a learned person will live in human society unattached to family affairs. But externally, he will appear very much attached. Have you got it, everyone? What you have to do? You have to live in family life, and you should, externally, you should appear very much attached to the wife and to the family and all the affairs. You should appear like you're very much attached, but actually, internally, you should not be very much attached. It's a little difficult, right? That you have to put on a show, pretend you're attached. So Lord Chaitanya, he told something like this to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das, as a young man, he was the son of a very, very rich person. So his father was a rich person, and his father and his uncle were both serving the Nawab Hussain Shah. The Nawab means the emperor, the leader of all the Islamic people. So the Nawab was like the emperor, and Rupa and Sanatan, they were working for the Nawab, these two men. They were working for the Nawab, but they were not very happy there, because their nature was to be devotees. So although they were working in that line, in that kind of situation, They were never satisfied. And so when Lord Chaitanya had come there, they told Lord Chaitanya their situation, and Lord Chaitanya encouraged them, tried to get out of that situation. And Rupa Goswami, he did manage to get out very quickly. Sanatan took a little longer. Sanatan had been arrested and put in the jail. However, Raghunath, he had gone to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he went to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he told Lord Chaitanya, I want to join your movement, I want to leave home, I want to become full-time in this. Lord Chaitanya told Raghunath, better you go home and wait for some time, because you're a young man, and you may, after some time, you may regret it. If you give up everything, and then later on you may regret it. So he said, better you go home and behave like a normal person. After some time, then you may be able to come and take the shelter of Lord Jagannath and Jagannath Puri. But Lord Chaitanya sent Raghunath home. He said, keep Krishna in your heart. Behave like a normal person. Don't be a sahajya. Don't take everything cheap. So Raghunath went home. He wanted to leave home. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you stay at home, but be a devotee. Take the kartals, take the songbooks and so on with you, and make everybody a devotee, get them to read and to chant everything, and you'll see how people change. And the more we have Sankirtan, the more the whole world can be changed. Just like now, we have a lot of Sankirtan devotees in Moscow. In Moscow, many devotees are chanting the holy name. So there's not just one group of devotees there in Moscow, there are many groups of devotees all over the city, and they go to different countries to preach and to spread Krishna consciousness. So they're trying to introduce Krishna consciousness all over the world. By their efforts, try to give people Krishna consciousness. So it's very easy to get entangled in family life. That's why they're always stressing here, be careful. Don't get too attached to the family affairs. So Ramananda Rai got a little bit involved with the family. And Lord Chaitanya sent Raghunath home. He wouldn't let him escape from the family. But after some time, Lord Nityananda Prabhu came there. And after Lord Nityananda came, then everything got moved to the Srivasangam. They were having the kirtan every night. But then Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. And after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, then that was the end of the kirtan. Then no more kirtan in the night there. Lord Chaitanya was not there anymore. So people lost their enthusiasm. Without that direct connection with Lord Chaitanya, so this is the situation. So how can we help people today? How can we save people from material life? You know, people are working so hard, so difficult for them to make money. They have to work very hard, many long hours. How could we advise them to get the best out of the human life? What do you say? Anybody has any ideas? Maybe we should put you into groups and you can sit together as a group. They want you to sit together and think. How can we organize? What do we need to do to ensure that people will become more Krishna conscious? Right? We want the mercy to flow, but the mercy is not flowing, it's blocked up. So I want to hear from all of you, what can we do to help the world, to make the world more opened up to Krishna consciousness? Do we want everybody just to be working like a madman?
Krishna Maharaj, we've got some hands up. I'm not sure if you would have noticed that.
Okay, I haven't seen it. No, you want? Who's got their hand up? You can tell me.
Okay. This is your servant Maharaj Vira Gopal Das.
Jai.
Well pronounced. So nice to see you, hear you, have your beautiful association. I then pronounce to you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So Maharaj, it's a beautiful practical question you pose, and the answer, as I understand it, is it's Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple-hearted and complex for the crooked people like me. So, basically my understanding is that we have to extend ourselves, Audarya, meaning, because I'm based in Mayapur, Audarya, having compassion and love and compassion. And the only way we can do that is to befriend and serve these people and try to the best of our ability to give them at least what little we have, because myself, I'm a work in progress. So I'm not so high up in my realizations, but whatever little I have, the basics of it, and that can be imparted. But the first act has to be that they should feel that we really genuinely care, we love. This is where I would start.
How would you show that love and care?
This is going to be a PhD, Maharaj.
Well,
How would I...
You speak about love and care, you know?
Yes. So I can only just express what I experience. I'm not very knowledgeable, as you very well know. So, for example, in London, when I used to work, I sometimes would see a poor person, a drunkard, and try and approach them and find out why are they so sad, da-da-da-da-da. Eventually, I would try and understand what challenges they're facing. So befriending them first, and by befriending them, then tell them that, look, I suffered all my life, but I got this magic experience, blessing, which was Krishna consciousness, and see if they're very interested or they're little interested, and then tap into it gradually. So rather than going, bull in a china shop, saying that I know best, I don't subscribe to that, Maharaj. Like that.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, we try. Invite people to tell people about our own experience, is it? Is that your point? That you would tell something about your own experience and in this way try to encourage them to also investigate Krishna consciousness?
Yes, by opening one's own heart so that they understand that the exchange is genuine, it's not pretentious, not sitting on a high horse looking down upon them, but to be able to relate to them in equal terms, saying that, look, I'm nothing special, I also suffered, and this is my experience, how about it?
Okay, thank you for that. It's something we can consider. All right, we have some other hands up. Let's hear from, who is it? Murari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Accept my humble respects. So I was thinking about to bring people to the association of devotees in communities which are function where there is proper atmosphere and they can in this way be attracted to activities in Krishna consciousness and taking care about them and so these were my...
What, you mean just bring them to the temple?
Not to the temple, but also to the communities of devotees which are function, that they can see the process of devotion, in which way the devotees are living actually, and that they can see that the devotees are like them in one sense, in ordinary things, but still they have something higher in their life to which they go. And when they see it in a practical application of the devotees, so they can be inspired and of course accept then Krishna consciousness. This also, inside is also that in such an environment, devotees are preaching about Krishna consciousness, speaking, they see the activities of Krishna conscious person. So, like that.
Okay, so we should try to, you say our example, show them the example of our devotees, how they're working, how they're doing things.
Yes.
And
my example.
And like encourage them that they could also be useful in doing similar activities as the devotees.
Yes.
Like if some devotees are working on the farm, then maybe they can also work on the farm. Or but not everybody likes that kind of work. People are particular when it comes to working, doing jobs. They have their own tastes, what they're willing to do.
Therefore, I was saying that to function communities, it means that there is different differences of who is in their nature, When there is very small communities, it is very difficult because they can think like this, oh, I don't like this, maybe it is not for me, Or when the community is going only in one particular way, But I mean, like more complex. It's difficult, like here in Mayapur, I'm also now in Mayapur. It's like more easy for people accept the process because they see different kind of devotees working in different places, in different positions, whatever. And so they can more easier to relate to all these things in their practical life.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if they see people working, if there's somebody they can relate to, somebody who they can feel some connection to, then that can inspire them. I think that's important, that you have to have some kind of connection, that they have some kind of feeling for you, some kind of friendship with them, and then they can have more appreciation for what you're doing or what's happening. If we just bring people along, you don't really know them, and then they may not be so much inclined to what we're doing or the kind of activities which we're performing. People like in some countries, we've got a lot of refugees now because because of the Russia and Ukraine war. So a lot of refugees have come into Europe. And a lot of refugees are there And even though they could get jobs, they can have jobs if they want. They don't want a job because they get money from the government. You know, and that's quite a common phenomena in other countries also, that if you can get money from the government without working, why will you work? People, a lot of people, they don't want to work, you know, they're quite happy to just sit around and to pass the time. They go here and go there, and they get money from the government because, you know, they have some, maybe they're unemployed or they're refugee status or whatever. But the government, you know, they will give them some money to maintain themselves, because it would be bad for the government if everybody goes starving, you know, so they have to provide for them. And so like that, people think, why I should work? And just get money from the government. Government giving easy money. Okay, let's hear from this devotee. Who is this? Hari Shankar?
Rajshekhar Das.
Oh, Rajshekhar.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Maharaj, my purity is the force, and books are the basis. Purity is the force. If you are pure, you work on your